Alrighty, stood up too fast for head rush. I haven't done this before, so this is this amateur hour just for a change. So this is just me mucking around my workshop. It's not a how-to, this is how I'm doing it, okay? So, hey guys, welcome back to DMAD Customs. Dave here on the YouTube in my garage, because that's what DMAD Customs is. If your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, if you want to see how to pin a crank, probably should find a better video than this one, but it's my first time doing it, and I thought I'd just bring you guys along as part of the Area 51 build, and yeah, hopefully it's all good, and however many months, years, weeks it takes to actually run this engine once I've kind of got this thing a bit further along down the track. But I've got the tool on loan, so I want to get that done so I can get it back to my mate. And yeah, something I want to do. Explain why after the intro music thing. So let's get at it. I haven't even done anything, I've got splinters in my finger already. So why should I pin the crank, I hear you ask? You might be asking yourself. That sounded really weird. I'm not boosting this car, I'm not supercharging turbos, it's not a wild NA build, you know, it's just a mild LS1 with a mild cam. The reason I'm pinning the crank on this is because I'm just a little paranoid that I haven't quite, you know, kind of got that balance so super tight, because it's a press fit, there's no keyways sort of thing, and what's press fit as in it's a tension, so I can't remember that terminology, but the bolt's got to stretch to hold it on there, and it stretches on stuff. So I'm going to pin it as well, just because they should be pinned or keyed, you know, and this is a simple way of kind of making sure it doesn't spin. It might still come loose and come off, but hey, hopefully the Loctite will take care of that. So that's why, because you got to, there's a rhythm. Now don't quote me on this, you got to, when you put the balancer back on, or a new balancer on, you got to torque it up to like 15 gazillion foot-pounds of torque. My torque wrench only goes to 110. So I've taken it up as far as I can. I think I rattle gunned it up there as well. We're talking about a year ago when I did this, maybe longer when I did the cam, but yeah, so I've kind of cranked it and cranked on it and whatnot. I almost tipped it off the engine stand when I did it, so I'm hoping it's tight. And so I had to get a new bolt, so I got a new bolt, and we borrowed the pin kit from a mate because he's pinned his crank in his 6 litre, it's L98 maybe engine, in his 58 Apache that he's building, and that he was contemplating boost in some way for that. Not sure if he still is. It'd be pretty wicked if it did 6-speed manual supercharged or twin turbos or something. But anyway, he bought the pin kit, I borrowed it off him. Simple, like it's a little thing, it's not gonna hurt it unless I really cock it up, but that's why I'm pinning it, because I just don't trust how well I've got the balancer kind of cranked down on there. I think I have. I don't actually have the tooling to be able to do that, other than kind of just ooga-dooga the hell out of it, or put a big pipe on my torque wrench. Some people say you have to replace the balancer if you take it off. I took it off to do the cam. And I don't think everyone replaces the balancer every time. Do the bolt. A lot of little yappy dogs in my neighbourhood these days. It's kind of embarrassing, but they're not mine. My dog isn't that inconsiderate to be just yapping, kind of like what I'm doing. But anyway, so pin the crank. Let's get at it. What was I getting on about? Alright, so this is the pinning kit that you get when you go on Amazon or eBay or whatever. Made in China. Here it is, as everything is. So it has a 16mm whopping great big cap screw sort of thing. That's more just for centering this little kind of guide. You've got this big cap screw, 16mm, 2mm thread, yada yada, and this little guide and a 1/4 inch drill bit. Now, because my mate used the dowels on his LS, he's doing a 6 litre into a 58 Apache, which is going to be pretty cool, and we don't have any dowels. I'm going to use some old worn out drill bits as my dowel, being that they'll be hardened steel and the right size. Yeah, it's not just mild steel I'm going to be putting there, it'll be hardened steel, like hardened, hopefully. So according to the interwebs, they're usually about 3/4 of an inch, so it's about 20mm. They're not very long, so I've got to sort this out, drill the take that bolt out. I'll give it one last digger on tightening it down, and I'm going to take that bolt out and start setting this up. Looks pretty simple, so hopefully it all goes well. And I've got to find my new balancer bolt. It's in there somewhere. Okay, one new balancer bolt. That was hiding in a place I didn't remember putting it, but found it in the end. So gotta find my one of those 24mm. Yeah, she looks good. So I'll give that a bit of an extra and just crank it down a bit and see if I can get a little bit further, and then take that bolt out. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's something like 250 or 230 foot-pounds you crank it down to, and then you take the bolt out and you put a new bolt in and crank it to 37 foot-pounds, and then some degrees after that you turn it, like I think a 3/4 turn or something like that. Don't quote me on that, I'd need to actually double check that again before I kind of commit to that. Yeah, this thing's probably going to turn over, just going to turn the motor over. But when I was putting this balancer back on after doing the cam swap a while back, I had it on an engine stand, and I just about took the whole motor off the engine stand trying to get the balancer undone, and then trying to get it done back up again. So yeah, I don't know whether I've got that kind of capacity to get that 240 or 250 or whatever foot-pounds it is, even with a big bar on there. This thing is, oh no, it peaks out at 150. So yeah, let's have a go. Oh, what was that noise? Ah, it's air coming out the tape. Wee. Alrighty, stood up too fast, head rush. Okay, so I've got that balancer, I've got that like on there as tight as I can get it with the means that I have. So put a straight edge across it, and all my belts and that are all still lining up, so that's all good. So I kind of run a edge across here and here and there, so it's like I'm pretty sure it's in far enough, but my uncertainty is hence the reason to key it. So next up, what do we got to do? It was something I was going to do before that I had to do in a different order. So we've got this bolt. Where's the thing? There it is. So this little doodad here is just a turned up kind of guide more than anything. That was my knees. So that gets bolted in there, and then you use this to guide you into with your drill bit, you know, your drill. And so that just bolts in with that. But before I do that, I want to measure, put some tape on here so I know how far I want to drill this in. I don't want to drill it too far and drill into something important. The hole ends up kind of half and half on the crank, half on the balancer, from what I can gather. I haven't done this before, so this is this is amateur hour just for a change. So this is just me mucking around my workshop. This is not a how-to, this is how I'm doing it, okay? So don't you go freaking out in the comments if anyone actually sees this who knows what they're doing. But anyway, like my bracket, I made that last week. You should watch that video if you haven't already. So anyway, getting sidetracked. So that I've got to figure out how much I'm going to drill down to. I wonder if you just drill to that little mark on the drill bit that come with it. It could be it. I might go and measure how much is sticking out. See on the drill bit there, that's machined to a point. I'm wondering if that's where you go to. Your verniers. So that's just over an inch. Yeah, so that puts that just over an inch. So I might drill it just shy of that. I don't want to run the risk. From what I've read on the forums and stuff, about 3/4 of an inch, which is how much in millimeters? About that much, about 18 millimeters to make the dowel. So if I go about that far, onto there, you reckon? So about 5 mil short. So I'm going to tape that up so I know where to stop, man. Just going to put a little bit of tape around there at my, yeah, so I'm going to cut my dowels at 18 mil, which is 3/4 of an inch. Well, actually 3/4 of an inch is 19 millimeters, so I'll cut my dowels at 19 millimeters and drill my hole to that tape line, just like that. Alright, so we're going to bolt this in. This big cap screw, this one here, I don't actually have an Allen key big enough for that, so I have made a device. I actually just got a bolt with 2 nuts on it that fits in there, so hopefully this works, because I do want to get this kind of fairly snug down tight, this guide thing, because don't want it walking around while you're trying to drill it. Get what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's get this on there. Out of my knees. Alright, there you go. That simple. Alrighty, so all that's really left to do is drill the holes and cut my dowels, and then put the new bolt in with some Loctite. Don't you forget that. So do the right thing and use some cutting stuff, because that's what you're supposed to do in situations like this. And I've got my safety jandals on. so drilled my holes. It's pretty straightforward. So I just got to take this little mamma jamma back out again and then cut my dowels. Hang on. This is going to work. Yes. And now that appears to be stuck in there. So, oh, there we go. Look at that. So that is, oh, there's a bit of swarf in that in there still. I'll give that another blast out with the brake clean and the air gun. Make sure none of that stuff stays in there. And then I'll go and cut my dowels. Alright, so we decided on 19mm, which is 3/4 of an inch, to cut my little doodaddies at. I've got 3 old drill bits. One's in much better condition, so I'll go and check these in the holes. Yeah, which is good, they fit. One of these, that one's a bit huckery, so I might put that one aside. That one looks rugged, but it's actually not too bad. And that one's really good, so I need to get some tape again. So put that in the vise. Band down the street practicing. So I'll go about there. I'm going to put my tape approximately the width of a cutting disc, and I'll cut to the outside of the tape like that. Alright, now I'll do the other one. If these end up too long, it's all good, I can just grind them down a bit. So, right, cut these off. See, I might put them in that way. So I don't lose the bit. So I'll put them in like that. So I don't lose the bit that I just cut off like I did last week. It'll be hot. Number 2. There we go. I'll just wait for them to cool off a bit, then I'll give the edges a little clean up with the old flat tack, as they are known in Hot County. Right. Alright, so that is bang on 19mm, and that one is bang on 20, but it's got this high point on there. I'll just knock that down just a scotch with the old grinder. I reckon that's probably like hot now. Yes. So bang on 19mm. How's that for accurate machining? There's yeah, accurate machining. This is probably why I end up redoing so much stuff. But what can go wrong, really? Balancer walks out, throws the bolt balancer and everything into the radiator, throws everything else out, lunches the motor. That's about it, really. That's about all that can go wrong, so I'm happy with it. Alright, so I'm going to stick these in, and the new bolt, and I need some Loctite. That'll do. just like that. Wow. New bolt. How much Loctite do you normally put on? Not that much? Should really spread it around, eh? If I go like that, then it'll work its way up the thread as far as it needs to go. Yeah? The new bolts have also got this, I think it's like a seal in there, stop the oil coming out. Actually, I didn't compare this bolt to the other one. Probably should do that. Threading in, but alright, same length. Good to go. Alright, sit that there. Torque wrench again. Okay, so according to the interweb and all the forums and all the other stuff I've managed to find on the line, you initially torque this bolt up to 37 foot-pounds and then mark it and turn it another 140 degrees. So it's like from 1 to 5 o'clock. That's what the internet says, and it seems to be a fairly solid consensus, so I'm going to endeavour to try and do that. Hopefully the motor won't turn. Damn it, it wants to turn. How can I stop this from turning? Oh, there's me 37 foot-pounds in anyway. So I need a pen, 2 pens, a white pen and a black pen. Got 2 pens, so I'll mark that at 12 o'clock. And mark that at 12 o'clock. So 140 degrees. So I'm going to double check that. I think that's from, like, if you're looking at a clock from 12 till 5. Let's Google it. Okay, so according to this little picture I found, this is a pretty little picture, 140 degrees is about 10 to 5 on the hour hand. So I want to get to about there, I reckon. That's about 90, that's 180, and that's like 4 o'clock, that's 5 o'clock. So just before 5 o'clock, around about there. I want to try and turn that to that. And I'm going to use a rattle gun, because I've got one. I got it to 4 o'clock. Squeezed out some of that seal. Oh, get some heat on that. Jeez. Try again. One last try, or I'll leave it at 4. Okay, almost. Now it's stuck on there. What happened? There we go. Okay, so almost got it to there. So that's about 4 o'clock, and that's about there, just before 5, where I wanted to get it to, but I'll give it one more try. It was starting to move just a little bit more, so I'll give it another shot. The socket's getting real hot, man. There's my battery. My battery's just about dead. Nah, she's not moving any more than that. I reckon that'll be good. Okay, so pretty well kind of cooked my battery drill, trying to run up my battery drill, my little Ooga Dooga gun, and I got it to about 4 o'clock, so we're pretty close to where the spec says it needs to be. I'm sort of confident that that's going to be alright. Sort of confident that that's going to be alright. Sort of confident that that's going to be alright. That that's going to be alright. Don't sound that confident, do I? But if I do it now, by the time I drive this car, I will have forgotten all about this, unless I get punished in the comments on this particular video for years to come. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm no expert, first time doing this, pinning a crank, and but yeah, it went alright I think. So, tools used. Ooga Dooga gun, torque spec, 200 foot-pounds. And there's the GM part number for the bolt. If you're interested, it's 12557840. 24mm socket. Got a new bolt, and this big cap screw adapter kit. Part number 12784649. These are available at all good speed shops, and they're really handy. And then we got the actual kit. Ooh, I don't want to lose that. Comes with a drill bit, dowels, the guide, and this big mamma jamma like a bolt that goes in there. And there's a part number there. That might be the Pung Chau part number, but GPK 10SS5. And hopefully the camera's focusing, but LS LT crank pin kit for pinning something or other, new, made in China. So simple piece of kit. If you had a lathe, you could make one of these easy, and had a big bolt, or you use one of the old bolts and grind the sides off it so you can get to the template holes. I just broke this box. Amateur. But yeah, so this crank pinning exercise seemed pretty straightforward. Hopefully it works. I don't recognise what they're playing. Well, that's it guys. Pinned the crank. Not a big long-winded video this week. Had some other stuff on this weekend, some family things. And so yeah, but I just wanted to get this little job done because I need to get the tool back to my mate. But yeah, that's it. So leave it at that for this video. If you're first time here and you're still watching, don't forget to subscribe, because you'll get to watch me muddle up, monk around and do things 4 times on the old Area 51 project. And it's the right thing to do. Subscribe. Anyway, that's enough from me. Till next time, take it easy and peace. And thanks for watching too. Like I said, you guys, both of yous.